A Pinky and the Brain, Pinky and the Brain. One is a genius, the other's insane. They're laboratory mice, their genes have been spliced. It's Pinky and the Brain, 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 brain. Hey, do you ever get a song stuck in your head? Well, I did, okay? And what people call a brainworm, I think, sometimes. But not like that one that RFK Jr. had, though. That's a different kind of, that's a danger noodle, is what he had, a danger noodle up in his brain bucket there. And that ate about probably his whole frontal cortex. Or maybe the whole thing, for all we know. Probably the whole thing. I believe it's probably the whole thing there. But anyway, different kind of brainworm. But anyway, hey, you fake-ass patriots here, Trump supporters. Look, have you noticed that that Donald F. and Trump, he's made some real bad decisions ever since he started pretending to be president again. He's just made a whole series of bad decisions. From who he picked to run his DOGEs to his cabinet picks and stuff. Just irrational about all of it, you know. And I think I know that, you know, it's because he thinks he's a genius, you know, the stable kind. He said he's the stable kind of genius. And you can tell that he's not by the words that he used there. You know, putting the word stable in front of the word genius means that he was over-embellishing. That's what it was. So he wasn't quite sure that he's a genius. He didn't believe it himself. So he had to add a word there in the front of it to try to convince everybody else, hey, I am a genius. You know, over-embellishment, overcompensating, what that is. You know, y'all know a lot about that there. So anyway, so he's doing some overcompensating on that. And so I think in his little brain bucket, his empty brain, he might have had the same worm that RFK Jr. had, y'all. Just never found out. It, you know, ate it all and then it just ran out of his brain while he was sleeping or something, you know. But anyway, so he decided, you know what, I'm going to find somebody who's also a stable genius, you know, which he went out and hunted for. And he found that South African illegal immigrant, that Leon Nuss feller, and he said, well, that's a stable genius just like me right there. And the thing is, you know, just because, you know, you're a peckerhead with a rich daddy, don't make you a genius. Don't even make you the stable kind. Don't. It just makes you a peckerhead with a rich daddy. You know, you still make real bad decisions and be an idiot, you know. So I think that's what happened there. He said, I'm going to find me another stable genius to run my doges and stuff. He shouldn't have did that. There's a whole lot better people out there. I mean, you need a team of people. And I'm not talking about that merry band of misfit boys there that Leon Musk feller used. I'm talking about a real team that specializes in all that, the wastes and the frauds and the abuses and stuff, you know. And so if you really think about it, there's better qualified people out there to do that. I mean, how about some waste, you know? It's easy to go out there and find somebody to deal with that waste. You know, who could it be? Waste management. How about waste management? Did they deal with waste all the time? And you know what? That stable genius right there, well, I mean, a peckerhead with a rich daddy, but, you know, that stable genius feller there, Donald F. and Trump, he should have known that because he worked on a garbage truck for a day, an hour or so. He did it for an hour. He wore the suit and everything. He even got all y'all to wear garbage bags. Remember that? And hide inside garbage cans and stuff because you thought you was being funny and stuff like that. He got y'all to do that. So he should have thought about it. You know, I'm trying to find waste. What do I need? I need some waste management. That's what I need. I need to get me some waste management to hunt down that waste. He should have thought about that. If he was a real genius, he would have, y'all. But he's just a peckerhead with a rich daddy. So anyway, there's your waste. That's part of your team right there. He could have had, and then you got to go for some fraud. You know, find that fraud. And so, who would be good at finding fraud other than that illegal South African immigrant there? Anybody probably. Right there, it's been staring us in the face the whole time. Letitia James. That what. I know she's black, all right? Hey, use a different word already. My God, it's 2025. See, that's you people's problem right there. Stop it. Anyway, she could find some fraud, y'all. She already did. I don't know if you're familiar with her. She found this one dude, businessman, found him doing like $500 million worth of fraud, y'all. $500 million worth. I don't know if you heard the whole story, but yeah, man, he was frauding here and frauding there, frauding everywhere is what he was doing. So she found all that, y'all. She found all of that. And I know there's people out there that stick up for him and they're like, well, that wasn't frauding right there. Where's the victims of this crime? You know, well, you know what? It's real easy to see. The victims is society. That's the victims right there. other business people that operate within the bounds of the law. That's it right there. See, because if you got one businessman that's not operating by the rules and everybody else is, well, it gives him an unfair playing field, don't it? I mean, he can go out there and get some special interest rates and then cheat the government out of their taxes and all that stuff. Well, if everybody did that, well, there ain't no rules. It's all just a wild, wild west. Everybody's out there just willy-nilly, like just stealing from everybody. So right there's that's the victim right there is society itself right there, because we live in a world of law and order, rules for a reason. So anyway, she went out there and she found all that fraud. $500 million worth. So that right there is what you get to hit up your fraud part of that waste, fraud, and abuse, you know? So now you got 2 right there for your dream team. And now we need some abuse, to seek out some abuse. Need experts on abuse. Who would that be? You know what? Donald F. and Trump. He's an expert at abusing people. He knows what abuse looks like. Hey, 30 different women accused him of abusing them, you know. Probably even more. I mean, would have come forward. We don't know what may have happened to him. You know, rich people doing rich things, you know what I'm saying? So, hey, and then we got that E. Jean Carroll abused right up in her there in that dressing room. He did that. Abused right up in her, was found liable by a jury of his peers there on doing that right there. So that's more abuse, and he knows what abuse looks like. Oh, that poor Katie Johnson. Wait, back when he used to pal around there with that Epstein feller. You know what I mean? Abusing little girls, allegedly, in actual court filings. That poor Katie Johnson. You remember the one that had to put on the blonde wig because it reminded him of his daughter before he abused on her like he did. So he knows some abuse, you know. He knows what abuse looks like because he does it a lot to everybody. So he would actually be able to lead up that whole abuse part of that. There's your dream team there. You got your waste, your frauds, and your abuses right there, you know. So that'd work. I think that'd work right there for DOGEs, you know. But then you go on and start looking at the cabinet picks and stuff that he's got, you know. I mean, what in the world's going on? I mean, the Department of Defense, you know, Pete Hegseth, the Department of Defense. What in the world's up with that? Look, that dude, he just a crazy drunk person, a Fox News morning host, y'all. Couldn't even do the prime times, you know. Couldn't even do the prime times. That sorry, he couldn't even do it. And you could find better people to do defense. You know what? I'm telling you right now. There are way, way better people out there to do that. Florida State Seminoles, man, they had a defensive coordinator for 26 years that sent many, many players to the Super Bowl. I'm talking about Pro Bowlers, superstars and stuff, people like Deion Sanders and stuff. Now that right there, Mickey Andrews. Now he'd be 83 years old right now, but I mean he knows his defense. You know, good defense. That right there is your Secretary of Defense right there. He gets you a good defensive coordinator. That's what you do. But a Fox News morning host on the Saturdays, that don't make no sense. Plus he's a drunk and he abuses women. You know what? He abuses them too. He knows the abuse too. He could be working right there with a Donald F. and Trump on the abuse part of that because they both know what it looks like. Well, really, his whole cabinet does, to be honest with you. They could all work on the abuse part of it. Damn. But anyway, see, he could have picked somebody else for that right there. And then how about that Kash Patel heading up the FBI, y'all? That's crazy. That right there is crazy. Heading up the FBI for what? That dude's a lunatic. And besides that, I mean, what's he know about FBI, female body inspections? You know, I mean, look, if you want female body inspection, look, Trump, you could have just got me, Black Boot. I know female bodies. I know them. They got hills and valleys and cracks and crevices and plains and plateaus and man, even caves, y'all. I've explored them. But anyway, you can get somebody better than Kash Patel to do the FBI's. That's ridiculous right there, you know. So another just dumb pick for doing that right there. And how about this? A Secretary of State. Marco Rubio, what, the state of confusion, the state of denial? I mean, that guy was abused. He was abused by Donald F. and Trump. And then he turns around and defends him all. That's right there is called confusion. So the Secretary of State of Confusion is what that is. They could have got somebody else to do that too, easily. Find anybody to do that. You know who else we got? Man, Attorney General. Attorney General. There was other people out there. You know, there's another Attorney General out there that would have been a better pick. You know who I'm talking about? Kamala Harris. I know, y'all, that burns, blowing it. I know, and then she's black. Stop it already. I know. Hey, but she was the Attorney General of California. That's better than being the Attorney General of Florida, don't you think? She's better qualified. Plus, she's vice president and a senator. But nope, he goes and gets that Pam Blondie lady there. You know why, though? I know why. Because she's one of those little Cheeto nut huggers there. What Cheeto nut huggers? What she is, so loyal to him, you know. So he went and got her right there, regardless of how good she is at her job, long as she's loyal, you know. So anyway, there's just a whole lot better picks he could have made out there. And even look at what he did. He surrounded himself with a bunch of damn white Christian nationalists, white supremacists, try to take over the world, you know. Why would you use white people to try to take over the world? That's been tried over and over again. Always fails. Why do you think that the world's only made up of 15% white people? I mean, even Mother Nature says, "Hey, y'all ain't taking over the world. I ain't doing it. Y'all, I can't even put you make you in a majority inside a country, and you want the whole damn country. You don't like colors for some reason. Something wrong with white people. So why would you pick up a bunch of white people to try to take over the world? It's a failure. Hey, if you want to try to take over the world, you know what you get? You get Pinky and the Brain. That's what you get. I mean, it says it right there, beginning of every episode. You know." Gee, Brain, what are we going to do today? The same thing we do every day, Pinky. Try to take over the world. See, every single day, every night, Pinky and the Brain trying to take over the world. They study it. That's who you get to take over the world right there. You don't get a bunch of damn white supremacists, Caucasians. You just don't do it. Stupid decisions, what I'm telling you, Trump supporters. Stupid decisions up and down every single day. He could do better. He is not a genius, and especially not the stable kind, all right? Inmate Trump.